Hello, Seiiti Arata. Wake up to life. This is a message for everyone who's sleeping, who's forever dreaming. And dreaming is good, but be careful you don't overdo it, because dreams are limitless. Your desires are endless. You will never be fully satisfied. You always have big dreams that don't come true. That's why we need to learn to appreciate the small things. And you can achieve this by being fully present and grateful. Do you want to find more? Then I'll share with you a different and more practical way for you to try out this technique. First, you have to use your memory. Try to remember how you felt before getting to where you are today. Think about any goal you've already achieved. You really wanted to accomplish it, and indeed you ended up succeeding. For example, remember the time when you took a difficult exam, or when you bought your phone, or when you found the courage to ask that special someone to go out on a date with you. That was a good feeling, but now it's in the past. It's very likely that now you have other goals. Your aspirations today are greater than before, and when you're very focused on achieving new goals, you risk not being grateful. You may lose the awareness of the value of what you've already accomplished. Now, here's one important clarification. There is nothing wrong with wanting to achieve new goals, but we need to be a little careful. Lacking gratitude or awareness can turn into a negative cycle that leads to unhappiness. And this is the cycle of wanting something, achieving it, and then immediately wanting something else. Remember that our desires are endless. And since you will never satisfy all your desires, you must learn to value the small pleasures in life. Detach yourself from your vision for the future and create a vision of the past. Have you ever heard of this vision for the future? Many productivity specialists and even large companies practice writing visions for the future. And writing a vision for the future involves describing what we desire for our future. We write the details of what our ideal life would look like and what goals we want to accomplish. And this vision for the future often includes a visualization chart, right? The chart contains images which help to illustrate, to clarify your objectives. This is a great planning technique. That's why it is so popular. But today I'm here to propose a different technique, which very few people know. It is the vision of the past. In the vision of the past technique, you will do the opposite of what everyone else does. You'll look back instead of looking forward. And usually your focus is on what you want to accomplish in the future, but this time, take a look into the past. Look at how far you've already come to reach this point. Collect photos and images of your past successes. Now be careful of falling into the trap of saying that you don't have anything to be proud of. Not practicing gratitude makes us complain that we've never achieved anything, but stop and think for a bit. If you're here with free time to watch this video, then you definitely have had some successes in your life. So appreciate these achievements. At the very least, you've learned how to read and write. You have access to a smartphone or a computer with internet. You're interested in your own personal development, right? So be careful not to take the easy way out of saying that you've never achieved something of relevance. Make an effort to reflect. Take a look back. Remember how you felt when you wanted to obtain what you now have, and how it felt when you successfully accomplished each of these things. You can even put some photos together to have a positive visual reminder of all these moments and to contemplate everything that you've already done so far. Now pay attention to the simple pleasures in life, to be thankful for all that you've already accomplished. Now, what's wrong with being very attached to big goals? The problem is that we are always focused on what we don't have. We constantly compare our current reality with an idealized image of the future. And in making this comparison, our real life is always at disadvantage. Our mind is always focused on an idealized future that never comes. And that means we're never attentive to the present moment, to the objectives that we already achieved, to the simple pleasures in life. The result is that most of the time we live in some unhappy life because we still don't have what we want. If everything goes well and we successfully achieve the goal, well, we can be happy for a moment, for a brief moment. But there's a problem known as Hedonic Adaptation. The happiness of accomplishing a goal doesn't last very long. We quickly get accustomed to whatever we accomplish. And what's worse, we mostly remember how we felt when we wanted what we now have. So then we set new goals over and over again. And this is why you need to pay attention to the simple pleasures in life. Practice gratitude for your accomplishments. This is a very simple, a very effective way to break out of the cycle of dissatisfaction with life. And this kind of attention brings you back to the present moment. It is the only way for you to free yourself from the suffering caused by the desire to possess what you don't have yet. And this is how you successfully live fully in the present. The psychological effect of being fully present can also be acquired by practicing focused attention meditation. We already talked about this kind of meditation in the episode 192 of the Hello, Seiiti Arata series. In a focused attention meditation, you sit in silence for a while, and then you train your mind to always focus on one single object. Whenever your mind gets distracted, you gently turn your attention back to this object, and the object will be an anchor to help you to stay in the present moment. But if meditation isn't for you, don't worry, you can stay calm. It's still possible to train your mind to be more attentive to the present moment and less worried about the future. And to do this, I will now tell you how you can keep your full attention to the present and enjoy the simple pleasures in life. Life happens now. Enjoy it. Wake up to life. Let's see a practical example to illustrate what it means to wake up to life. Tomorrow morning, you could wake up in a hurry. And when I say hurry, what I mean is that you focus on the to-do list, what you have to complete to achieve your goals. Instead of doing this, make a conscious effort to slow down. Just try to simply wake up and be present. Enjoy your breakfast calmly. Talk to your friends, open the window, spend some time contemplating the sky and the trees outside. Whenever you start an activity, explore with your five senses to be more present. If you're drinking a coffee, pay attention to the smell. If you're listening to music, try to pick out each instrument. At lunch, calmly notice the taste of each individual flavor. In the shower, feel the water touching your skin. When you look at a tree, try to notice the details and the texture. During the day, try to find a little happiness in the simple pleasures that come up. A good conversation, a lunch enjoyed calmly, a good chapter of a book. If these things don't come up for you, take the responsibility of creating simple pleasures for yourself. And if there is a voice inside of your head saying that you don't have time for these things, remember this. When you're in a hurry, you don't do things as well as you could. You might even be inefficient. Now, when you slow down and you do one thing at a time, but you do it well, you actually save time, you do it better. Slowing down also forces you to prioritize more and to be more selective. Instead of trying to do 30 things in one day, choose only 10. It is better to do 10 things well than 30 things poorly, which would just cause you more problems later. And once you've chosen 10 things, select 3 that really deserve to be prioritized. You don't have to wait to achieve all your grandiose goals to be happy in a distant, possible future. You can be happier even today just by being more present and more conscious of the simple pleasures in life. Long-term goals are important and you should still work to improve your future. But your happiness shouldn't depend on achieving these future goals. Instead of always focusing on what you don't have, try to be thankful for what you do have. Remember how you felt when you wanted what you now have. Just stop focusing so much on the future. Commit to paying more attention to the simple pleasures in life now. The simple daily pleasures that happen by chance or that you create intentionally yourself. This is a practice that can bring much more happiness to your routines simply by bringing you back to the present moment. But there are various other techniques to increase your level of happiness, which I teach in a happiness course. And you can access the course right now by clicking arata.se/happiness.